I like that. Just leave that up there. Nothing fancy. Actually,
No.
I'll have to set up my screen better a different time. Right now, it's literally just YouTube on my TV. So I'm gonna read the chat, and that is a good clickbait T thumbnail.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Where's the chat?
Oh, now OBS. Oh, that's interesting. So add.
Let's
Is
see
it
the
media
chat.
source? Input
Let's see
capture.
the chat on the big screen.
Maybe. Oh, now it does work. Look at that. My OBS works.
Mine worked before I decided to, do the updates.
I know. That's how it usually goes.
I can't tell if the chat is on or off. It's really weird. So I guess I'll just use my freaking phone anyway. Here, wait. Here's a big brain idea. Why don't I type something into the chat? Hello. Oh, there it is. Cool. It's actually
Shows up on your
neat.
TV. That's neat. Well, that's good.
Wow, there's already people here. Man, it's amazing what happens when you don't do one every 6 weeks.
It's
Like,
only been 2 weeks.
it's better than doing them like every 4 months. All right, so might as well just get into it if you're ready.
Uh, yeah. Anyone who's joining us early, we're just gonna do our bi-weekly podcast recording, and Juno said, "Well, why not just throw it on live?" So it's fun for the fans to eavesdrop if they want on the podcast, and of course, it's always fun to interact with the chat. Um, so with that, I guess I'd like to say welcome to the Stardom Fan Podcast. Mark.
Yes, you are, and well, you're the host with the most, and I'm here as well. I'm Juno.
Yeah, yeah, you are. Hi, Juno. Tonight we're going to talk about Unagi Sayaka. Sayaka? And this podcast is going to be, uh, until we come up with a better name, it's our second in the series of our Meet the Wrestlers shows. The
Well,
first one was
technically,
Utami, and you
part
can go
three.
back and look at those. Well, it's the second wrestler, but yeah, it's actually the third one. Utami took a couple shows, and this Unagi Pod is brought to us by fellow Stardom fan friend here, Dodge Morningstar. We said at the end of the last one that we took requests for what people were interested for our next podcast to be about. Uh, we had a few really good ones. Pretty much anyone to talk about is good. But Dodge Morningstar came up and donated to the cause. We have a go, or what is it's not a GoFundMe, is it? Now I forgot.
Yeah, it's the GoFundMe.
Yeah, GoFundMe for a family member who beat cancer. He donated, so money talks. So Dodge Morningstar says, Unagi, so we listen. Thank you, buddy. And we'll post the link somewhere. Oh, and he's here already. So, yeah, this podcast is we're doing Unagi because Dodge was a good guy. Anything you want to say off the bat before we get on into the show?
Um, I'd like to explain my preparation a little bit because for the Utami Meet the Wrestler, I literally was just riffing off the top of my head because I know so much about her. But for this Unagi episode, I have, I always do my paper notes here. I got 4 pages of notes. I got like 4 different color highlighters. I got uh, index cards. I have notes on my notes, and I probably will still lose half of what I'm trying to talk about and be very confused because that's how that goes.
That's awesome, actually. I also had a good time. It's sort of fun doing research on stuff that you actually are interested in, and Unagi didn't disappoint. It's fun when you learn something about some of these girls that you didn't know. You start going back and trying to, you know, it leads you down other rabbit holes. I didn't watch Unagi or Unagi's family cook chicken for an hour like I did with Utami and the Big Daddy Show, but I
That's
mean, she
because it
was
doesn't
still pretty
exist.
interesting. Yeah, her stuff definitely seems like it was scrubbed. I didn't look too much. I actually go to the dates where she did some like a lot of her Olympics or stuff like that. I did want to go back and try to deep dive and find some old pictures, which I'm sure is somewhere, but I didn't.
Oh, it's saved on someone's hard drive.
I did want to start off
Well, hang on.
nice
I was
and
gonna before we start that, talking about the podcast, because I'm like, hey, well, we got people here. We're live. When we do these live streams, I never just know what to put on the screen, and it's like this time I'm just doing this, the podcast logo, and usually I'll just be throwing up Google Images. If you have any suggestions of while we're just shooting this shit, what we can throw up there to be more interesting, I am all about it.
yeah, well, like most podcast shows on YouTube seem to like to put on the have the face of the host sort of staring at you through the thing, but I like to be somewhat modest, but definitely believe that I might have a face for radio. So that's why less of me and more of the Stardom girls is definitely a plus.
Anyways, what were you gonna say?
What I was gonna say, and then I mean, you have 4 pages of notes and highlighters. I was just gonna start off all
And
nice
index
and
cards
generic and say, "Oh, and I've had the index cards."
and a Word
I was
document
just, of, well, yeah, and you managed to print it out and everything.
and a bulletin board. No, it's kidding. That's the next episode.
That would be amazing if you took a picture to share, and it was what would like. Well, there's always two sides. It's like either the serial killer or the person who's tried to hunt the serial killer. So I can picture you with a board with pictures, and you got that string with different colors going from section to section, and it only makes sense to you. Like this was her title reign, and if you follow the red string, oh, but then it goes to the blue string.
Like the
But I would
Always
like to.
Sunny episode, and then he's going on this huge tirade, and he's like, "There is no Pepe Sylvia. This whole house is a goddamn ghost town." He's like, "All right, not only do all those people exist, they've all been asking for their mail, and they're very angry." He's like, "Oh shit, really?"
You can always go back to either Always Sunny or The Simpsons, apparently.
The live action Simpsons. Did you know that Always Sunny is just a show about nothing? I think they invented that.
Yeah, s- sort of.
Anyways, let's get
For the
into this freaking
2000s.
Unagi thing.
Yeah, well, Unagi Sayaka. Who is she? She is a professional wrestler, currently signed to World Wondering Stardom, part of the Cosmic Angels, where she is a former Artist of Stardom champion and a former Future of Stardom champion, and probably will someday be the world champion. And now I would like to hand over the reins to you and see where you take us if you wanted.
Um, yeah, so this is gonna be a little. I'm trying so hard. That picture. That's not that much better.
That's all right. That's her future belt.
Yeah. All right. So I want to jump into because she's had a very kind of interesting life before she got into wrestling, and then jump back because well, let's get into it. We'll jump back because I have like I was drawing some interesting conclusions here.
No, I
So
actually like that a lot, and that's how we started with Utami. Like, I just my first line is literally born in Toyonaka, Osaka, Japan, 9/2/1989. She's 33 years old with five sisters. Like I mean, so whatever kind of information you have, uh, go for it, brother. Yeah, let's start right from the before she was a wrestler.
By the way, who is it? Raymond, my compliments of finding the best thumbnail ever. It wasn't very hard to find.
She is very photogenic and she loves the camera.
Also, whatever. Already demonetized at this point, just for Google searching the poor girl's name. So it doesn't matter. So she was born in Osaka Prefecture in 1989, and she has mom and a dad, five older sisters. So that's got to be a crazy house. Just six girls, the mom and the dad. Her great grandmother, I found out doing my deep dives, was a member of parliament. Both of her parents were teachers, and she comes from a long line of doctors. And she kind of worded it as she said, raised in a strict elite family. So she's from like a rich family, and they're like very educated, and they're very strict. So I'm like, huh, that's
I thought that was
interesting.
funny. Yeah, I thought that was funny too. If you think of what would be like the Catholic school kids, they have all the rules and stuff like that. And next thing you know, they get older and they get all buck wild. So I'm like, well, coming from an elite, strict family, next thing you know, you become the freak who flies through time and space.
Hey, I like dinosaurs. Oh, it's a GIF. Oh no. All right, can't look at it. I'll get too distracted. So another thing, because I got a lot of them who read like the same interviews. One of her sisters took up swimming because it was worded that she was physically weak, which I don't know if that just means she's a weakling or if she has like some type of sickness and all she could do is swimming to try to like get healthy. So her sister takes up swimming, and at the same time, her mom goes to see a Cirque du Soleil type musical show where all the girls are dressed like mermaids and are swimming around in pools. And her mom loved it so much, she just decided to force Unagi to do synchronized swimming.
Oh, nice. Well, that is why she ended up not loving it, huh?
No, that's
I didn't
actually
realize it was a
not.
forced
Well,
job.
yeah, her mom's like, yeah, that's really cool. That's what you're going to do forever. Just
That's
like
what
a
happens when you're the youngest, right? Everything that no one did that I wanted them to do is now on you.
yeah. So I don't know if that. I'm sure that's part of it. Like she didn't choose to go into synchronized swimming, but her training regimen was insane. She said she would do an hour of calisthenics followed by 2 hours of competitive swimming every day, and then the synchro practice started.
Yeah, and she started like super young too, didn't she?
Yeah, we're talking like elementary school. So she would literally have to do 3 hours of training before training. She swam over, she said, 10 kilometers a day, which is 6 miles. And she got so good at it, she was actually third place in a national competition in her second year of junior high school. And she got offered a spot on the junior Olympics team, which that was ironically what made her quit wanting to swim altogether, is being offered to be on the Olympic team.
When you already like it's the story of forcing your kid to do a sport that they don't want to do. It's like, all right, fine, I'll humor you. We'll do it after school. And then once you have some success, and this girl was apparently really good and she worked really hard. But once you go to the Olympics and the Olympics in Japan, that's a different level to the point where if her regiment was hard to begin with, I believe she started training and basically had quotes somewhere along the lines of was like, yeah, I basically ate till I threw up, and then
Oh,
like I worked out forever, and then I probably threw up some more, and then I quit.
yeah, I literally have. I got quotes. She's like, Olympic athletes train until their late 20s, and when I went to training camps, I would get up in the morning, swim, eat until I threw up, swim until noon, eat until I threw up again, then swim again at night. So I quit.
That sounds healthy.
And then she, and then she also is like, a good head on her shoulders. She goes, realistically, I'm probably not even going to get on the team anyway. I'm going to do all this, spend all of my time doing this thing that I don't really like till I'm 30 and not make the Olympic team.
Yeah, so maybe I can hit you with a segue. Is so she quits this. If you had, I don't know how the parents or family reacted to her quitting when she had so much success. I don't know if you do, but if you don't, at the point where she quits, she does still want to do something fun while she's in
Well,
high school.
yeah, but I have something before that because this interview
Oh,
is
good.
hilarious.
Oh no, that's cool. I was trying to be all slick with a segue, so we'll like sort of reverse that, and then I'll try again.
In this interview, that I just read that quote from. The interviewer asked her, "Well, since you quit on on being in the frickin' Olympics, did you have any other dreams, any other passions that you want to pursue?" And she goes, "Yeah, dinosaurs. They're big and cool. And now that I'm a wrestler, I'm closer to becoming a dinosaur than ever. I get paid to go on rampages."
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so what was pretty cool that she decided to get into after quitting swimming?
Yeah, well, I guess you wanted to do something, stay athletic and stay competitive. And her high school happened to be the national champions, like for years in a row in cheerleading. So, of course, that's what she ended up jumping into.
Yeah. So yeah, she decided that's kind of cool. She's like, I'm still gonna do something athletic. Like it didn't completely destroy my spirit being a that she's like literally has. Granted, is Tiger Mom like a negative connotation? Like I've never read anything that's like her mom is like forcing her to. Besides forcing her to do the thing, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like I don't know if she was like a mean Tiger Mom.
No, this was much different than reading about Utami's childhood and growing up, basically because Utami was on television and it was her family was an open book. And this is a lot of sort of leaning reading between the lines, but yeah. So in nothing that I came across, it says how they felt, but I mean, I guess I can imagine if you don't want to be successful at swimming, at least if you're going to go into cheerleading, you might as well be a national champion still, which she was. She ended up they went to nationals and won for their high school,
Yeah, the
and
high
she
school it was just kind of insane. The high school she went to was just known for winning national cheerleading titles. They're basically Alabama. And she basically just had a lot of pressure on herself where like, no, we're known, like I'm on the cheer team, we win national championships, I gotta win. And the way those competitions, my sisters would do it and it would be awful. You gotta sit there for 5 hours while everyone does the routines and then they decide who the winner is. And she said that's basically how the same thing was in synchronized swimming. And the whole time she would like do her routine, and then she's got to sit there like, please fail, please fail, please fail. And like she would say, she would just sit there feeling like she's gonna throw up, just hoping that they win while she just watches everyone else do their stuff. And she goes, and we won, and it was fun.
and we win.
Doesn't that sound like so much fun?
Well, what she loved about it is the high of winning and performing in front of people. So that's how you start getting the bug to be a performer. And with high school nearing an end, and you're not going to be a high school cheerleader if you're not in high school anymore, she didn't want a normal job. She said, "It sounds boring. I want to work in front of people."
Yeah.
So
Could you picture this
basically,
girl doing a 9 to 5?
not in that outfit. It would definitely make going to the bank more exciting. So I don't have details because it probably would have. I mean, I'm sure they're out there. It probably would have took too long. But basically, from the time she graduates from 19 to 29, she basically seems to do everything from idol, Japanese idol, actor, YouTuber. I mean, I guess that's technically us, so we're basically the same. Uh,
Mhm.
even though she was successful at all of these for about a
Gravurital.
decade, well, that was next on your list for you to do. Even even though successful at all these things, she never felt satisfied. And then, as it happens in every good story,
Yeah,
a
she's got a
friend
quote.
suggests wrestling.
She's got a quote. For 10 years, I was just living. From 19 to like 29, which is fascinating. She's on all sorts of DVDs and CDs and TV and magazines, but she's like, what she wanted to do. She wanted to be out in front of people. Just maybe she just didn't want to be just a pretty mannequin. you know, it's not really fulfilling to a lot of people. I mean, some people it is. If just want to be a Victoria's Secret model, that's cool too. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, she just didn't felt fulfilled. And yeah, what did you say? A friend just came up to her and was like, "Hey, I like pro wrestling. Do that."
Yeah, that's how every good story, wrestling story starts, right? A girl who's never liked wrestling, and then Utami was similar when we went through that podcast, and then all of a sudden, a friend says, "How about you get into wrestling? You've done everything else for the past 10 years." And Unagi says, I'll give it a try. Maybe
No.
it'll be a stepping stone into something else."
Yeah, actually, she said, no. that sounds awful. Because all she knew about was guys like Asha Kong, like these big hulking brutes who just beat the crap out of each other. And she's like, I weigh 100 pounds. and then one day, like a light bulb went off. She saw a poster for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling and goes, whoa, I can do that.
Just from a poster,
yeah.
I can pose and look awesome, as you can see from
yeah, the wrestling will come.
the Google gifs.
the wrestling will come later.
That is a big difference between. Well, I mean, we've only done two, but as we go back and in our Meet the Wrestlers series and learn more about the ladies, Utami came into wrestling with a black belt in judo. Unagi came into wrestling uh,
As an Olympian,
as a as an Olympic nominee and a cheerleading champion. Like that's hey,
she didn't
right?
get
Whatever.
she didn't get cut from the team. She said no thanks.
Yeah. Well, performing is some people would say is just as important as the moves. Some people,
You know,
like some people who are Ultimate Warrior fans, might say that.
I find that most of my favorite wrestlers of all time did not give a crap about wrestling at all growing up, and which makes sense, right? Because at least in my mind, if you're a fan of wrestling growing up, you're like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be. And then when you get into wrestling, instead of just learning how to do it like well, you're doing like a parody of wrestling, you know? You're like, I'm gonna wrestle like Hulk Hogan instead of just learning how to wrestle. And you're like, oh, that's how Hulk Hogan got so good. That's a little off topic, but yeah, I find a lot of these as you start looking into these girls, most of them did not know or care about wrestling at all.
Yeah, no, yeah. Utami didn't love it until she was older, but she was in the judo, so she did know how to kick ass. And Unagi knows how to work with people, so that some would say that's equally important. She originally thought pro wrestling might have just been another job, a stepping stone, if you will, into the entertainment industry. But uh, she started training with Tokyo Joshi Pro and ended up really liking it.
Yeah. Now, before I wanted to get into like backtrack, unless you had something to say before we talk about
N-
her wrestling.
oh no, that's cool. Yeah, I had a hard time. Like I have a 10-year window where I wish I knew all the bands and stuff she was in. I just actually had a hard time finding it. So anything you
Um,
have will be great.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to find. It's they don't do IMDb over there in America. Everyone's so pretentious, and they just will literally themselves go and credit. Oh, I was in this commercial. I was in that, and then Japan, they're like, yeah, I have an agent, and they handle that. And then the second they
Yeah,
sign me and they get the money, they just like trash all the paperwork.
yeah, and I was like in bands for 10 years, but it's lost to time.
Yeah, it's hard to also explain like what an idol group is if you don't really know, or I mean, I
C-
don't even fully
Can
know,
you can
or
you attempt to explain it? No.
I mean, I mean, as far as I know, like an idol group, it's it's kind of there's like I feel like there's different kinds. There's the kinds of just like a bunch of like pretty girls get together, and a lot of times it's by like an agency, and they just try to sing and dance, kind of like a One Direction. Someone puts them together, or they just go out to events. Like there's like Tam Nakano, she was a failed idol, and she would talk about how it was embarrassing because they'd go and like, hey, this group, I don't even know the name of her group. This group is gonna be at this event, and there'd be six members, and six people would show up, and she's like, I feel like I'm just on a blind date right now. And then you
So
got
that's
actor, yeah, TV. The thing that's like harder to like explain, like when I was trying to look up, like what exactly is like a gravure um idol, and I think it varies from like bikini model to like softcore porn. Yeah, like Mina said something. This is going off topic. She said something too. Like when you try to explain to Western people like what this is, like you tell them bikini model, but it's not quite it. I'm like, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Now, for the people who are just going to be listening audio only, I have just like a series, like these pictures right here of Unagi. Let's say you've never seen this girl. Can you try to just explain what we're looking at? Because she doesn't. Let's put if there was a lineup, you'd pick her out right away.
yeah. She has. There was an article I was reading by Trent Breward, and he basically called her gimmick Kabuki Mono, which is goes back to it translates to something similar to Crazy Ones, and it was a type of
Well,
back in the day, sort of a samurai who would defy traditional norms.
well, just
So
explain what she looks like.
she's colorful. She dyes her hair a lot.
Yeah, she's got
Uh,
uh, like pomp in her hair and tiger claws. Face makeup, but not face makeup that anyone else wears.
yeah,
Just
definitely unique, and that's what she was going for. It's really awesome.
boob windows.
And who doesn't appreciate that?
Because the point I'm getting at is, so I'm like studying to be like go into anthropology. So I just always find now that I'm like researching like people, why are people the way that they are? More so just than, oh, this is how I was raised. Because obviously, if it was just by Unagi, how Unagi was raised, she would either A, be one of those Japanese Olympic drone athletes, or B, well, it seems to me more than just, oh, my parents wanted me to do this thing and they forced it on me, so now I'm going to rebel. So I did some digging, and this is like a tangent here, but maybe it's relevant. She's from Osaka, so I started looking up, okay, what are the people of Osaka like? And then as I'm researching like Osaka and the city, I find like during the Edo period, which is the era of the samurai, that people from Osaka were stereotyped as stingy beyond belief. They have a lack of civil spirit, and their dialect was very vulgar. And the Edo writers saw themselves as aspiring to fulfill samurai culture. So they saw themselves as poor and but generous, public spirited, and chaste, while people from Osaka were stingy, greedy, gluttonous, and lewd. So I'm like, and even till this day, people from now the capital's Tokyo instead of Edo, people from Tokyo still have that same impressions about people from Osaka. Like there's a phrase to this day, like I don't know the Japanese phrase, but it like just translates to people from Osaka eat till they puke.
Oh,
Like they're just gluttonous. That's still a stereotype. And although it's not wrong, didn't we say Unagi would just eat till she pukes multiple times a day?
uh, yeah.
You gotta be in a
She also hated
crazy.
herself.
You gotta be a crazy Osakan to do that. So I was thinking about that, and then yeah, her gimmick is basically a kabuki mono, and like what's a kabuki mono? And they were gangs of rogue samurai. So Japan was at war, and there was a whole bunch of different clans trying to control Japan, and then Japan, like the one lord, the shogun, took everything over, and there was order. But you still have all these guys who they're trained. Their only thing they are good at is being a warrior, and there's no wars left to fight. So they would just roam around Japan. And you said, yeah, they're called the crazy ones, and it comes from the term kabuku. Wait, yeah, kabuku, I think, which means to slant or deviate. And basically, they were very flamboyant. See if any of this uh, relates to a girl we're talking about. Very flamboyant clothing. They would wear Chinese hats, women's clothing, European clothing, vests made from Persian rugs, all sorts of colors that weren't traditional, on very uncommon hair and beard styles. They would wear katanas, and note that Unagi likes to bring a sword to the ring. We've got comments on like the entrance videos. Why does this girl carry a sword with her?
Because she's a freaking samurai, baby.
Yeah,
And that was most prevalent. She had that cool entrance when she went against Tam.
and that's a big part of that culture too. Like the kabuki monos, like their swords, they'd have uh, really flashy red scabbards, really uh, larger than normal katanas, and they were also known to be loud, obnoxious, violent, unsocial behavior. They would test their blades on bystanders, just when they'd be walking through towns, which I related that to Unagi loves beating up on new girls. I feel like there's a connection there.
Yeah,
As well as wrestling, dancing, and singing very loudly in the streets. So she calls herself the freak who flies through space, which the space part is obviously she's in Cosmic Angels, but she calls herself a freak. And the way she acts and the way she dressed, I used to just think she was a psychopath, and there was no rhyme or reason to it. But you could definitely call her a freak, but you can't say that there's not a reason. She's kabuki mono to the core, baby. A rogue
that's a good
samurai.
analysis. She is a rogue samurai.
Yeah, I got
I
so
like
deep
that.
into
They
looking
way
up.
to knock her down.
Yeah, I got so deep into looking up kabuki mono, and it's like it was like so fascinating. It's kind of like being goth, but the opposite. Instead of like hating the world and wearing all black, you're gonna wear every color of the rainbow and just be a flamboyant, obnoxious fuck. And I love it. Oh. So that's Sorry, I'm just going
Get caught
through.
looking at your pictures. Yeah, where do you want to head to now? That was awesome.
Well, maybe her wrestling career.
Yeah, well, that's what's nicer about Unagi is it doesn't have to be a 3 hour show like our last one was. I have that she started training in May of 18 for Tokyo Joshi Pro. Um,
Yeah, yeah. So she
I
gets so sorry, stepping on you.
No,
I'm
that's
just
okay.
like because we went on a little tangent
Take the
there.
lead, baby.
Yeah. Well, we talked about her friend. She was just going through life, didn't really have a purpose. Like she wasn't really happy with what she was doing for work. And then her friend says, "Hey, try wrestling," and she sees a Tokyo Joshi poster.
Yeah,
So
and it was probably a bunch of girls who looked more like models than what you call compared to she only knew Aja Kong and the big girls who kick the shit out of each other and to this day come to the ring but can't wrestle or can't walk.
yeah.
So yeah, she ends up being able to. She gets in there. She ends up training, and although she was thinking, "All right, I'll do this wrestling thing. I'll get in front of another audience, and this will be my stepping stone into a different type of entertainment industry. I'll be on TV, all that kind of stuff." She's thinking, but she ends up loving it. And this is May of 2018. Uh, she works for a while, and probably because she doesn't have a combat sports background, but from May of 2018, well, maybe it's not a while. We know Tommy trained for about 3 months before she was on TV, but Unagi's first match wasn't until January 4th of the following year. Right? Do I have that right? Yeah. So it was well, maybe about yeah,
January. Yeah.
7 months or so. Yeah, about 7 months worth of training, and then she went and got herself in front of a live audience at Korakuen Hall at a
Yeah.
Tokyo Joshi Pro show
Debuting
on
at Corkin Hall.
yeah, and you know what's fun about that show is that it was probably packed because that is Wrestle Kingdom like week. So,
Oh
Wrestle
yeah.
Kingdom is like right across the street. So on January 4th, 2019, I think
Oh,
that's before they did two shows, and if it wasn't before, then this show was probably during the day, which meant it was still packed.
Wrestle Kingdom. It just turns into Corkin turns into Wrestle Kingdom month.
Yeah, yeah, basically,
It's like
right?
WWE. They do WrestleMania and then everyone just comes out of the woodwork.
If no one's ever looked it up, you gotta look up like Google Maps, the Tokyo Dome area. It's like a whole. It's almost like a. How would you describe it? It's almost like the U.S. Open. How there was set up. There's like the main thing, which is the Tokyo Dome, and then there's like side arenas all over the place. So you could literally see a Korakuen from or the Tokyo Dome from Cork, and you just like walk there. Like it's all one big area of event shows and stores and all that kind of fun stuff. A little city in the middle of Tokyo.
We got Jacob Rainbow Warrior says she sounds like me. I have no purpose. I should be a professional wrestler. I mean, you both got no purpose. You're both Rainbow Warriors.
That's right, Tokyo Dome
Oh yeah.
City.
What do you guys think about this room? By the way, I've done like a little YouTube short. Everyone was saying that this is like a kill room, like a creepy like this is where you wake up, and then you never see your family again.
Well, if that was the last thing you'd see, it was probably a okay.
Yeah, so she debuts. I have January 19th. She gets her first win 2 months later, about in a 3-on-1 handicap match. And then a month later, she gets her first tag win. A month after that, no, oh yeah, okay, so yeah, she gets her first tag win like a month after her first win ever. Then it takes her another 3 months for her to get her next win, her first trios win, and she teams with Nadoku Tenma and Mina Shirakawa.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. I would have thought her Tokyo Joshi Pro career, which went from January 4th of 2019 to only May 10th of that same year, it, right? And wouldn't you? No, it had to have gone further, right? Did it? No, I think that's it. And she managed to squeeze in 40 matches in that time. Now, I don't know much of the Tokyo Joshi girls, but yeah, she gets the win with Mina on that side. But
Well,
I
so can we
go.
just does that just confirm that Tam's the weak link in that tag team?
Yeah, the
I mean, this also confirms it.
oh yeah, I like the going through her time in Tokyo Joshi Pro. I don't follow that show, so I would have thought that in her matches I would have noticed more people because I mean there's still a lot of crossover. But yeah, Mina was the person she seemed to have worked with a lot. So the fact that they ended up teaming up in Stardom was pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, she gets her first. It's so funny. Then she gets her first singles win just by herself, 2 months after her trios win with Mina, and she
Oh, yo, I
finishes.
did the thing. I said May 10th. She didn't go from January to May 10th. I did the thing where they do
It's
the
backwards.
dates like backwards. Yeah, October 5th, which makes sense because that's when she got injured. So yeah,
Maybe
yeah. So
you're
she did
doing
40. Yeah,
your dates
yeah,
backwards.
well, I mean, what do you want from me? I I
Yeah,
got to Americanize all these notes. Uh,
she
yeah.
finishes. Yeah, her rookie year 5-36. I wrote down, and then the start of her next year, she gets a pretty bad injury where she dislocates her elbow, tears a bunch of ligaments, and she's out for like 8 or 9 months.
Well, according to her, the news isn't all bad because it just so happens that a couple months into her injury, nobody's working in Japan.
Yeah, and it's not just me. Well, she said, this is a funny quote. Every day I would wake up and watch Walking Dead and drink till 6 in the morning. I'm like, wow, we have so much in common because that's what I do now.
That's a life.
Yeah, basically what happened is she's out for a couple months and she's just like just drinking and watching Walking Dead and playing video games and just being like a loser. And then
Which is
COVID
which is funny because
happens.
it seems like the first time that she's like never been super busy.
Yeah, COVID happens, and everyone else isn't allowed to do shows either. And it's a funny way of looking at it, where she's hurt. So number one, part of her is happy that no one else is allowed to wrestle, which is hilarious because she's not alone now. She's like, and she takes this as an opportunity where she thought since no one's going to be doing shows for a couple months, everyone else would gain weight. So she decided she's gonna cut a bunch of weight and look super freaking awesome, better than all the other girls in the company when they start up shows again. And she said that she lost about 25 pounds in a month, eating only chicken and eggs and yogurt and creatine. I don't know.
Apparently gave up her
those special
beer diet.
those special vitamins.
Nice. Yeah, so she did, and she ended up looking great. She didn't end up coming back to Tokyo Joshi after. Oh, she did though, didn't she?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she came back and I said she was like 0-11, but she looked like a freaking superstar with like a six pack abs while everyone else got fat. And then that was like a really great call because there must have been someone in the who was watching the matches scouting for Stardom and is like, who is this girl who looks like a unicorn threw up and has 6 pack abs? She definitely stands out.
Yeah, so she stays with she comes back, Stardom opens back up. She works for a few more months and then her last match in Tokyo Joshi Pro is September 21st.
That's
Which once again she loses. But that's okay because the news isn't all bad because
So,
that's less than 2 months away from her Stardom debut.
so her last match in Tokyo Joshi was during Utami's birth week.
There it is. You gotta celebrate the whole week.
Hmm. Might as well make it the whole month.
Going into to put you on the spot because I think you've done the research for fun because you thought it was interesting. Uh, on what do we have here? Was it 11/14 is Unagi's first match in Stardom, but she was sort of Tam and Mina's special guest. She came out to the Titantron or to the Tron and stuff. Her name was ZZ. Mayu in the opening little press
Well, that's
conference. She
because
didn't.
okay, so that's because the mystery partner is usually X, right? Like, oh, an X will be there because you want it to be a surprise. But Tam's a little extra, so it's Z. And who was Z? Oh my God, it's Mina Shirakawa, and she starts up Cosmic Angels, a subset of stars. And she said, you know what? You just can't have a group with two people. So at the next show, I'm challenging you, Mayu and Starlight and Gokigen Death, and I'll bring ZZ, another mystery partner.
That's cool. And you know what's funny about that is Mina's last match in Tokyo Joshi Pro was similar to um, Unagi's around the same time as Unagi, so they probably left at the same time and got gobbled up to head to Stardom. Why did, if I may, why did Tam want to leave the Stars to begin with to make her own?
Because she's an egomaniac.
Because she's better than them and they know it.
Yes, because although, oh man, I forgot that's a tag team. Um, I've also heard rumors that why she picked the people she did is she wanted to have her own group idol group where she's the leader, and the group was only gonna consist of beautiful women with big breasts, and Mayu didn't make the cut.
Oh, well, that's a thing. Either way, it ended up making a great team. So yeah, ZZ ends up being Unagi, and they win their first match. They beat the Stars team of at that time Gokigen Death, Mayu, and a very colorful Starlight Kid, which is fun going back and watching old matches with Starlight because you could just sort of sense the evil brewing inside. Yeah. Yeah, I believe so. I sort of fantasy booked that. I'm like, yeah, she's looking at Mayu like she's gonna turn someday.
Yeah, that was back in still 2019, right?
Uh,
I
late
think so.
2020.
Oh,
This was
okay.
after, yeah, right before. Yeah, late 2020. Pretty much a little bit after they.
Well, yeah, it doesn't really matter the date. I was just saying that was during a time when they were still like slumming it and doing 2 or 3 shows a day. Because you're saying about Starlight, one of Unagi's first matches is against Starlight, and she faced her twice in the same day, and both times Starlight beats the hell out of Unagi because Starlight's amazing. And she just gets in her face, and I think she was even doing all she was missing was the mask of shame. I was like, whoa, you're supposed to be a good guy, Starlight.
It is fun watching her
But yeah, that was the
uh,
first
be awesome.
Cosmic Angel before they broke off from Stars. Tam starts her own group. Like they were the Cosmic Angels, and their first big. Well, they had they went 1-1, and then they had a rubber match once Cosmic Angels went on to win the artist titles, and then basically they beat Mayu, Gokigen, and Starlight, and they said, you know what? We're better than you, and you know it.
And it didn't stop
we're the
there.
we're cuter than you, and you know it.
And they're delicious.
Yes,
The
Tabimas.
Um, yeah, and if you want to talk about strong booking for a brand new team, do you think? Well, maybe it's a Tam Nakano thing because she's doing it now with Natsupoi, right? But this Tam Nakano team of the brand new Cosmic Angels with Mina and Unagi, they end up on a tear for the next month. They end up winning 7 or 8 straight and earning themselves in December a title match against Uedo Tai's Bea Priestley, Natsuko Tora, and Saki Kashima.
Well, yes, while that's happening, they're going on a tear, being the greatest trios tag team. Unagi still, she's pretty much still a rookie. She spent most of her rookie year in training. She only wrestled a few matches. Her second year in wrestling, she had like an awful elbow injury. So it's basically like her rookie year, maybe you'll say second year in Stardom. So she's a very new wrestler. And while this is all going on, she decides that she's gonna just call out all the best wrestlers in Stardom and do a. I think she called out Julia because Julia was like the best in the company at the time, and then Rossi put her in a 7 match series against her first match. And that's probably where she gets it from, Unagi. She's like, you know what? I had to get my ass kicked for a month. You can get your ass kicked for 1 match against me, new girl.
I actually like that they ended up. Well, it's funny they did that. They started that after she even won the Futures title. She ended up her Trio series, which is pretty funny because that's what there's something about Miyu. Uh,
No,
Miyu
I don't.
Amasaki's doing like sort of trial series now, isn't she? Or is that just trial versus Julia 7 times?
No. What she's doing is stealing Waka's thunder because Waka had to wrestle everyone in the company. It felt like.
Well, she's
Yeah,
going on her second round.
but her first match is against Julia, where Julia just completely just she doesn't give a fuck. She just beats the hell out of her. And then her second match is versus Azumi, high speed champion Azumi, and she Azumi's is very cocky, but especially when she's got a title around her or a belt around her waist, because she beat Unagi in like half the time it took Julia.
You say cocky or shitty?
Um,
I'm sorry, I misheard. Next.
I sorry, I think your mic cut out.
I had to throw in one shot.
No, I mean Azumi wasn't beating all my favorite wrestlers at that point, so she was cool. Yeah, so Julia beat. There's like some funny things. I went back and like looked at all her matches for that series. Julia beats her, and Unagi's just lying on the ground dead. And Julia says, "You know what? What does she call her? I think she calls her. She calls her like perverted and like you're a decent wrestler, and you're like basically like you're a lunatic. Do your best and don't break. Well, you may fall apart if you're under Tam Nakano's leadership."
Was that Julia? There was someone after one of those matches, which I actually thought it was pretty cool. Unless it was more recent, but there was maybe it was the Marvelous Girl, but it was something similar to that where it was like, wow, you are really goofy, but like bell to bell, you are one heck of a wrestler.
Probably Micah. Yeah, and then Azumi didn't even say anything to her. Even when she beat her, it was kind of like, yeah, of course I should have beat this Unagi. Like, why wouldn't I? And she just walks off. Mayu, that's the third match in her series. She says, I face Unagi in her trial series, and I'm really not interested in it, so I just want it to end real quickly. And then just gets up. And then Mayu wrestles a match with Unagi that Mayu never wrestles, where she's just stiff as hell and just beating the hell out of her, Bruiser Brody style. She ends the match. She picks up Unagi for a tombstone. She holds it for about like literally a minute, and then she's only holding her up with one hand while she gets the crowd chanting, and she just walks Unagi around the ring, smiles, does the Undertaker like you're dead, hits her with the tombstone, puts one hand. She like like pie face the girl, where you just put a hand on the face for a pin, like super disrespectful. The ref does a 2 count. She pulls the head up. She says, no, no, no. Hits her with the dragon suplex and just walks off.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Looking that up, that would be on 21421, and like all these little trial matches she had, what are they, 10 minutes or above? Like they're fantastic. These aren't like bullshit in and out beat walk on 5 minute matches. These are really good.
Well, they're not. Well, except Azumi, because she just wants to show how high speed she is. But they're not competitive at all. Like she's getting her ass handed to her.
Well, that's what's interesting.
Her
That is a
next
12
match,
minute ass whooping.
her next match is against Himika. No smiles. Like it's almost like it's beneath them to have to wrestle Unagi. Why is Rossi making me do this match? After the first, second, and third opponents, you're gonna feel what it's like to get hit by Himika. Like you thought this was a trial. Needless to say, Himika brutalizes her. Then she faces Konami. Then she faces B Priestley, and they both just basically just judo flip and do whatever submission hold they want until she just gives up. And finally, her final match is against Shuri. And she's. oh, when she had two more matches, she goes, "Two more matches." This is Unagi. "My body is damaged, but I'll go full throttle. I won't let my heart break." And then she loses that match. And then she goes, "Today I face Shuri. It's the seventh match, and she feels like a final boss." And then
Yeah, and this is like this is still awesome, and it's a long match. And Shuri, I mean, I mean, Shuri's always been Shuri, but that's before like Shuri was like the summer of Shuri of 2021.
yeah. So that was going on, and that's why, because I didn't watch those before I was watching Stardom, but going back and researching it, she's such a likable person. Like it's there's like everyone always thinks the way to get a wrestler over is like, oh, they're just going to be really strong and win a bunch of matches, but like obviously, but there's also something to this girl who's just getting her ass kicked week in, week out, and then still just getting back up and challenging the best wrestlers in the company and not changing her personality. She's still just like an insane lunatic goofball, no matter how bad she gets beaten. And it must have done something for her and toughened her up because after those 7 match series, like a month later, I think, she wins the Future of Stardom title from her teammate Mina. Oh, I also put yeah, she wins that title. Tam wins the white belt from Julia, and then the Cosmic Angels go on to have a record-setting 7 title defenses in a 291-day artist reign.
Yeah, that was record breaking, right? For the
Both of
number
them,
of successful defenses.
everything. It broke all the records for that belt, and they were 2021's whatever you call it, faction of the year.
Yeah, that was, and they should have been. That was a very fun team.
Not just the Stardom awards, but like legit pro wrestling awards from actual wrestling reporters like Tokyo Sports. They were winning all
And
sorts of awards.
yeah, that was the big one. The Stardom won like Pro Wrestling of the World awards for Tokyo Sports. They won two awards. One was Cosmic Angels as the best faction, and one was Utami Hayashishita as the best wrestler in the freaking world. So yeah, and Unagi was a part of that. It's far to the point where like there was a fun uh, let's see a quote. One of the commentators I saw, Chigusa Nagayo, I think. He had a fun quote that I thought it was fun to pull, which was, "When I watch her matches, she keeps getting better and better. Her instincts are getting better. Perhaps she is the best Unagi, that is the best of the Angels, and it will eventually be her team." Which I think would be awesome, but I also believe would be over literally Tam's dead body.
Um, I can see it. There's also something
What
about the Angels that I should bring up. They are, as far as the rest of the roster is concerned, on the older side. I don't think there's a single one of them under 30.
you cannot prove how old Tam Nakano is.
There is not a single person alive who knows that Tam Nakano is over 30. And then 2022 hit, and it all went downhill. Why do you think that was?
It's just it seems to be the Stardom roller coaster ride.
Do you think it's like a Super Bowl burnout? It's exhausting being at
Well,
the top for that long.
yeah, there's that. They got new people, come in. The Angels got some new members. I wish Enigma was in the chat because this is about where he would
What?
say the cosmic anchor.
My
Uh,
Sakurai.
yeah.
Did you,
Well, usually referring to Sakurai. Yeah, she was fun for a minute.
I
She knew
mean,
to run away when she could.
my Sakurai went to DDM, and DDM went from undefeated to middle of the pack, and Cosmic Angels went from what's the opposite of undefeated to actually being a decent tag team faction.
Yeah, yeah, but the problem with the original trio of Cosmic Angels is that Tam has a new pet now,
Well,
and
I'd like we all know the real reason that the Cosmic Angels are on top.
oh, you can't be pandering to me because Hikari's like my favorite in the world.
It's also, by the way, impossible to Google Saki. So you just Google Hikari and then Saki comes up. Apparently, there's a million different anime characters named just Saki. I'm like, yeah, but I'm spelling it capital. Shouldn't you know that? It's capital Saki.
Yeah, you got to yell it when you say it.
Yeah, the real reason the Angels are on the upturn is because they got 3 better teammates than them.
Yeah, because they have non-angels wrestling. I did. Uh, if you want to chit chat for a little while, I mean, we're at the point where that would be the length of a good podcast. I would like to end it with where you think she goes from here. I did have sort of matches of note that I thought was interesting before Unagi won the belt from Mina. Mina actually won it. Was it Mina and there was a Saya Ida got injured that year, right? In the beginning of 2021, somewhere
Mm-hmm.
around there. So they had a futures championship tournament, which Mina and Unagi ended up in the finals, and Mina ended up winning that match. And what sparked my memory to bring this up is that you talked about all the people who beat up on Unagi in the 5 star. Unagi ended up getting some pretty big wins in that tournament, which is always fun about tournaments. Where
What year?
2021, Unagi in the 5 star beats Tam. Unagi beats Azumi, so she's getting her wins back. Well, Utami doesn't lose to Unagi that year, but that's the year of Utami. Unagi defeats Natsuko Tora by herself, but here's the big one. Well, maybe it was bigger until it turned out everyone beat Shuri, a year later this year. But Unagi in the Cinderella tournament quarterfinal knocks out Shuri. So by the time Unagi's done getting her ass kicked, as the year goes on, she ends up getting a few of those wins back. And I thought that was pretty cool. And that's what's fun about Stardom tournaments in general is that so they're upsets aplenty. So they make you sort of if you have a favorite wrestler, just wait a little bit, and
Yeah.
eventually they'll catch a they'll catch a win or two usually in one of these tournaments.
My favorite thing Unagi did this year was after Colors joined them. Uh, they did a match where whoever lost had to join the other faction, and the Angels, that was their first win of the year, like 5 or 6 months into the year. They were like
Hmm.
0 and like 40, and they beat Colors. It's their first win. It started them, like the snowball started where they actually started getting their mojo back. And you're like, you know what? You don't have to join Cosmic Angels. You can still be Colors, and we'll just fight together.
Yeah, we'll just share the paycheck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then
70-30.
and then Unagi said, "That sounds good." And she looked at Saki and said, "But you, I want you to be my minion." Even though Saki has like 10 more years more wrestling experience. And that was like a thing where Unagi is just disrespecting the hell out of Saki, even though Saki's older and has like a decade more wrestling experience than her. She's like, "Yeah, but you're Saki and I'm Unagi and I'm better than you and you should just be carrying my bags." So they face each other in the 5-star in a match that I've never seen a match like that. You know, like you like to call them the bouillets where they just hit each other back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm not
Boo. Yay. You know.
exaggerating. They went back and forth, just kicking each other with boots to the face for about 17 minutes. That was the only move they did until uh, Unagi was basically knocked out. Saki did like whatever, however she beat her, hit her with a roll up, I think. And they shook hands at the end and like, hey, you got my respect, Saki. And she's like, thanks. I didn't really need it.
Uh, That's sort of the thing with Unagi. I like the fact that she at least considers herself like much higher than maybe other people do.
For no
Which was the
reason.
girl? Yeah, yeah. Which was the well? She's had some success, but I do like the fact that she wants to be the alpha. Who was the girl that she did the assessment match to and said, "You can't join us"? And she says, and the girl that she was fighting said, "I didn't want to join you guys anyways."
She didn't even say
Was that
anything.
Miyu?
Momo Kogo, her first
Oh,
match,
Kogo, that's right.
she just introduces herself to Stardom, and then Unagi comes out and she goes, "Who are you?"
Yeah, that's when Unagi was beating up on a bunch of the new girls.
She
Sakurai,
always
I think,
beats up on the new
Waka.
girls because that's what Kabuki
Yeah.
Monos do. You just beat up on people who are weaker than you because you can.
You got to get your wins in, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
And she
speaker.
beats Kogo and then says, "Hey, you still can't join us." And she's like, I'm sorry, but I never I don't want to join Cosmic Angels. I would never join Cosmic Angels." And then Unagi was like, "Well, you're gonna regret it," and she obviously didn't. Oh, because we're kind of like shooting the shit here. You talked about Kogo. Um, Mayu Iwatani. Go to what, WWR. Go to the news. Mayu Iwatani has she wrote like a autobiography of her life, and they're turning it into a movie. And they were doing shooting or casting to see who's going to play
and
Mayu. Which
and Unagi's playing Mayu.
I was, well, she's got a couple. No, I don't say it. You know, I'm gonna say it. If we're going for realism here, I mean, or never mind, or the Japanese site can just be down. Yeah, they're casting to see who's gonna play Mayu. Which, first of all, I'm like, why can't Mayu just play Mayu? But they had on the next show that's not up yet. They have the top 8 finalists who are still in the running. One of them is Momo Kogo. Apparently, she tried out legit to play Mayu, and she's like still in the running. And I want that to happen so bad.
Huh. I can see. Well, she's skinny like her. You
She's
you put a couple of blue outfits on her. She could look like a young Mayu, right? Just teach her how to super kick.
well.
I like that.
Here's the deal. She is basically Mayu's understudy at this point. If there's anyone who's gonna play Mayu and like, it, what's his name? Christian Bale. You can do the hair extensions, the makeup, whatever. I feel like she's got all the mannerisms and stuff down. But I'm trying to find a picture of the girl who's in first place, who if you're looking at her, you're like, hey, that's Mayu. And then you see Mayu standing next to her, and I'm like, who's this Mayu imposter standing next to Mayu? And you're like, oh, that's the real Mayu?
While you're thumbing through that, I wanted to, as far as interesting matches, I'll try to take it upon myself to have a companion
Oh,
video
I
to
should also
this.
say, guys, scrolling through the Twitter, try to find this picture, but spoilers. I'll tell you when if you don't want to look. Try to scroll by fast if you do want to look. Yeah, you're gonna do a companion video.
Just a short one. When Dodge Morningstar donates $5 to that GoFundMe that helps out um, our family member who just beat cancer. Uh, he says, "Let's do an Unagi podcast," which I think we did pretty good here, and also said maybe something, if I remember correctly, maybe something along the lines of uh, her. She had those gimmick matches. So she had three gimmick matches, I believe, back in
Mm.
June or so. So they weren't very long. I think I can go through, do some of the highlights where some of the good stuff where she there's a no swearing match. I
Oh
think
yeah,
a
those.
spanking match, and stupid stuff like that. But I think I could.
Oh,
I think I personally hated them,
glad
but
you
I
like
would go
saying that.
back
I
and.
was
But I will enjoy going back and making cutting it so. And then I'll send it to you, so maybe you can take any sounds that'll get copyright strikes. But at least go through and make maybe a 5 or 10 minute highlight video of the good Unagi stuff in those three gimmick matches that she had.
just Unagi like with her
Unagi being goofy.
like humiliation kink where she just purposely gets spanked. All four of those matches. That's all I remember. She's like, "Whoops!
Yeah,
I
there's
accidentally said an English word." Where's the
there
freaking?
there was no English. I think no swearing and like something with those plastic weapons or some shit. But or maybe if you said something in English, which once you start listening to it, you never realize it's funny how much English they actually I guess use to actually have a match that says no English. I'm like, huh.
Yeah, like
That's pretty funny
why do they count in English? Can
because our numbers are better.
I don't think the girls can understand you, referee. That's why you can't disqualify people. It wouldn't be fair.
Because most of our numbers are only one consonant, so it's easier to go through. I would finish up by saying, where do you think we Unagi goes from here? And with that, I would like to
I
end
don't know where I saw
with
this picture from. Anyways,
I
keep
have a
going.
quote.
Ugh, log in. Keep going. Sorry.
Just put your password on there. The yeah. Um yeah, just saying going forward, she's had a pretty decent success. She's in a really good team, but unfortunately now she's
I found
been
it. Can you point out who like that's fucking where's Mayu? Turns out I'm trying to find a post about Mayu. Maybe I should check her social media first. Can you guys point out which one of these girls is Mayu? It's not Momo Kogo. Anyways. Hello?
Oh no, I can hear. I was studying.
Oh.
I couldn't figure it out.
There's like an even better picture. But like this girl, that's a problem.
The one on the bottom seems to have the goofy smile.
Yeah, obviously that's. Oh yeah, she got new hair now too. That makes it more confusing. If you didn't know that, yeah, that's Mayu. But look at this girl. Like that's freaking Mayu. Only problem is Kogo could probably do all her moves. She probably knows all this. I wish there's like a picture. Like they'll probably post it somewhere. Like of her, like just her face, and I was like, I thought I was having like a stroke. I'm like, wait. I did like a thing where you do sometimes. You were like, I don't know which girl this is. I'm like, who's that? I'm like, that's looks like Mayu.
Yeah, when you send me pictures of stuff you're looking at, it's sometimes out of context in street clothes or whatever they're wearing. It's hard to tell.
I just get. Is there anything else you wanted to say before I get to the part where it just evolves into me looking at Twitter every time?
I'm gonna take a break in a second, yeah, and then close it out. But yeah, I will
Oh
ending
God.
the meet the wrestlers. I just thought, asking the question, where do you think Unagi goes from here? What do you think her future is? And before you answer, she has an idea on where her future is, where she says, I don't want to stay in Japan. I'd like to go abroad. Of course, I have no intention of staying in women's professional wrestling. What That does sound like a bad thing to say. However, this is pretty funny. She says, after all, if I only wrestle, people who don't like pro wrestling won't be able to see me. So, I mean, to share the love of Unagi, she thinks she needs to spread her wings and fly. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. She seems like a character. She's the
Listen,
type of person that I think is perfect in the team. I don't
yeah,
see her doing many singles belts.
she's a
But yeah,
rogue.
and the
She's a rogue samurai, and rogue samurai's got to roam.
perfect. And with that, I'd like to say thanks for listening. You can find all our links at stardomfan.com, and all of our links are pretty much just YouTube and the podcast. So far, with other things coming, there's the spreadsheet is always fun to bop through.
Oh, I kind
There's
of quit. I kind of quit on that. I mean,
Well,
maybe
that's
I'll
all right.
update it at some point, but
It's still fun to look at. It's all right. Feel free. We'll have the link in the show notes. But I've also put it up a couple times that GoFundMe. We have a family member who kicked cancer's ass. However, uh, winning the fight is also expensive for doctors' bills. So we're helping to raise money. Also, feel free. We have a Ko-fi. It's ko
coffee,
dot or
Kofi.
coffee, or I know I like to say Kofi Kingston site. No, it's a Kofi ko dash fi/Stardom fan. Links will be around, and that's a donation site or super chat button in the YouTube. You can catch the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast by searching for Stardom Fan. We should be number one. If we're not, send us an email at stardommark@gmail.com and we will fix that. YouTube, search for us by searching for Stardom Fan, and we should be number one. If not, no, we will be number one. The other person that comes
Ooh,
up is some weirdo that wears a mask. And with that,
no, we
you can
buried that
devolve.
guy.
Oh, we buried him.
Yeah, this picture caught my eye because
I'll be back in a minute.
have you guys chat? Have you guys ever seen someone? She looks like she with the baseball cap and the mask, like she doesn't want to be recognized. A, you're hanging out with Hazuki, you're gonna get recognized. B, have you ever seen someone who is so disguised yet looks like no one looks more like Mayu right now than Mayu in this picture? Yeah, Unagi is a freaking beast. She literally could have been in the Olympics if she wanted to. Turns that down and then goes to be national champion in gymnastics, cheerleading, same thing basically. And then she's like, "Hey, not only am I a super athlete, I can be on TV, movies, books, uh softcore porn." And then just let me just jump into a third career, wrestling. And then you know what? Maybe I'll jump into a fourth career later on. I just realized I can play my own video that I put out today. Because why not? That shouldn't get me banned. Oh, yeah, you can show it to Mark too. I don't think he's seen it. Do you guys like these stupid? I mean, I'm still gonna post them if you don't like them because they're fun to make. I post these stupid meme videos. If you haven't seen it, I'll show you in a minute. How do you guys feel about those? Stardom, or actually, it's not even Stardom. I think it's Bushi Road. When I just do like the highlight, not the highlight videos. Like I'll do like a little clip of like something that happened on a big show, and then they'll like flag it and take it down. So I'm like, oh, that sucks. That definitely sucks. But whatever. I would rather still have my YouTube channel. Oh, probably can't play that. It's a dangerous game clicking on it. Oh. Troll doll. Mayu's just a troll doll. That's fascinating. How do you make that face? Yeah, anyone who yeah, so we're pretty much done with we're done with the podcast. We're gonna wrap up the live stream in a few minutes. If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna play a video I came out with today, cause why not? And you can tell me how stupid it is, cause it's definitely really, really stupid.
Hey, real quick, to interrupt your uh, hi Mayu or whoever that is.
Yo, can we go? What the fuck is wrong with Ring of Honor? Just like the most
Oh,
photogenic person on the planet.
yeah. While there's still a few people here, I forgot to. I should have done it while there was more. Ask if there's any suggestions on the next podcast, the next girl we do. Last time Natsupoi I think was pretty popular to the point I thought we were gonna do a poi cast. But if there's any suggestions to the people that are still in the chat,
Oh,
please. And I'll be right back again.
yeah. Oh, video translations. Yeah, I can do that. I try to wait for them to do the. What am I trying to say? They do press conferences for the pay per views, but they haven't been doing them lately, or they do, and it's like not very interesting. And that seems to be the only thing that they don't ever translate. Like, there's some stuff after a match, and I'm like, the problem is too with that is they'll start talking and there'll be freaking music playing, and then I gotta like I can't use it because I think it's the music that gets me every time. Ooh, Micah would be good because I know nothing. I don't know anything about Micah. I know more about Tam than I probably want to.
Oh, Micah's fun.
Yeah. I was saying, oh,
I'm almost more interested in Himika though, as silly as that sounds.
I'm interested in Mayu right now. Hey,
Sort of interesting in how Tam starts as an idol and then ends up being a deathmatch wrestler with exploding barbed wire and then turns into a cosmic angel. Now that's a roller coaster of fun.
listen, I know more about Tam than I care to know. She just happens. No matter who you're looking up, Tam always comes up.
I know our second bit of
And then I was gonna. I made a stupid video today while I was just wasting time. That's because that's the funny thing. Obviously I like Stardom, but I've found like a passion and like a hobby in like video editing. So I'll just be doing like, I'll just be bored and I'll just make a stupid video like this that I don't know if anyone has seen yet. But I was gonna play my own video for once. That's like a video I can actually play. Checked for copyrights and everything. This video is really stupid, and you've been warned. I'm gonna play it in 3, 2, 1, go.
Where the heck are the lovebirds?
that's pretty funny.
Let them be alone for a change.
Wolverine! What did he do to you?
I'm fine. I don't need your help.
You want to talk about it?
No. Not now. Not ever.
Why did I make that? Is there any other videos that I've like made? Like, I feel like there's other videos I've made that are just really fucking dumb. There's this shit, how can I play it? Can you mute a hang on.
What?
Yeah, you can. I can't play the song. But I've made this what do you call this? Like a YouTube short of Starlight doing a "What Does the Fox Say" dance, and people don't realize this is actually my greatest edit of all time because it's like a perfect loop that I've edited together and no one's been able to notice.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. How long is it?
If you can tell me where the loop is, you win a prize.
No, well, that's where the joke is. Because when you first sent me the video, I watched it for 2.5 minutes before I was like, "Motherfucker!" It's the same thing over and over again.
Hey, V Force here. Should I make a My Himi Poi version of Starlight or Wolverine?
Yeah, he said that when you had your Wolverine video up.
Yeah, that's so fucking dumb. Why did I make that?
I don't know how you come. I don't know how your brain works. I don't even know why you would have saw that animated series to begin with, and you would have thought. And the fact that you chose the bear as the lover, as the heartbreaker, and not Tam is even crazier.
Well, what does my description say? No one ever reads descriptions.
And you didn't even fall for the You didn't even let me try to call Azumi shit today. So it was nothing but Azumi love today.
Yeah, This is, by the way, that's the official backstory of how P-chan met Tam. She was a seductress.
Oh, she stole him away from Wolverine. That's the backstory. I get it now.
Is P-chan? I don't even know. Is P-chan a boy or a girl? Well, Chan is girl, but I've also heard like people say P-san. So I'm like, is there multiple? Ugh, I'm not even clicking on that. It's like a thirst trap video I made. Oh, hey, Tommy. This was like 90% of my research, by the way, for the Utami podcast. The amount of clips I have to search through. That was like a running gag. I wish they'd bring back a lot of their gags from their videos from the old website before they deleted it when they updated it. They would just shove a camera in Utami's face and like then just post it. Which, now that we know that she was being filmed for the first 20 years of her life, it makes sense how she's always camera ready. What are we doing? Why are we still even live streaming?
Because you enjoy this.
I really do. Because I get to talk with people who like what I like. Any other stupid meme videos? Hey, it shows live streams now? That's new. You used to have to click over to see people's live streams.
Is there another wrestling one? We went and hopped into that wrestling one last time. I think I lasted longer than you and Enigma. I was like, is anyone still here? These guys suck.
Oh, well, this was a meme video, but I can't play that. Freaking him, man's music is too good.
Frank, what the hell are you doing, man?
It's my character. I'm the trash man.
I come out, I throw trash all over the ring, and then I start eating garbage. And then I pick up the trash can and I bash the guy on the head.
Oh, that's gonna be a disaster.
No, nobody's gonna get hurt. I'm telling you, it's like you said, it's all fake.
This is turning into what's that theater show? What's that old show where you just watch movies and comment on it? You're just gonna watch real stuff and comment on it. I like that kick right there.
Well, it's because I know because I've gone through all the copyright shit.
Mystery science theater. That's what it is.
That's
You're
like-
basically just gonna sit.
I know what I can play on my videos because I know which videos I've had to fucking re-upload 8 times for copyright. Yeah, we should do a power ranking. That's a good call. We should almost do it. I kind of like the
At
idea.
this point,
we should
might as well wait a month until after the 5-star.
and then have Stardom decide for us.
Oh, that is true. It's always more fun to do it beforehand. Well, just because you have, since when have you agreed with who Stardom tells you to like? Yeah.
I liked Konami before she took the mask off.
これからオペを始めたいと思います。メス。
These are fun videos because they're on like the Instagram stories that get deleted, and then I save them on YouTube.
That's why they say nothing's ever lost on the internet.
できました。
I would watch her cook
タ
chicken
コ
for
さ
an hour
ん
and
み
a
ん
half.
な。明日の皆さんが食べるカレーを作っていきたいと思います。これは秘密のレシピなので見ちゃダメ。
You were pointing out of like watching the backgrounds and whatnot. Like this is like a legit. Like is this her house? Looks like a legit kitchen. Like all these pots and pans and big. I hear like an industrial fan going.
It is funny about like trying to pay attention to the backgrounds of some things. Like you showed me the one you sent me a gift the other day, and it was like, why is she in front of a washer and dryer? What's going? What are we looking at?
Yeah, if I can find the video. Yeah, this video. This is this is the freaking Stardom icon, the highest paid wrestler in the she is gonna make more money probably at one Corkin show than I'll make in a month. Mayu Iwatani. How come this is her prison cell bedroom? Like where's the furniture?
They live a minimalistic life. This is funny though.
I want to believe that she didn't know she was filming.
How else do you practice?
On the president of China.
Who didn't used to practice on their stuffed animals like that, right?
You know what?
Double drops, breaking the bed springs.
Yeah, maybe
Not
that's why.
good.
Maybe that's why it's just a mattress on the floor. She broke the frame.
The dog is cute.
Yeah, did you know? She probably didn't. The things I noticed because I made like that character when I was into like that WWE game. She's got on her knee pads like her dog. Like, oh, that's cool. All right, I should close this out, or I could just keep going because there's still 13 people for some reason just watching me go through my old videos.
You're very entertaining.
Oh, this is the meme one. Oh, but I probably shouldn't play that. It's like, even though it gets my copyright on the video, for some reason live stream will just it'll get taken down. Which I'd rather it not. Not that I care, but I'd rather it not. What's funny is I could probably show Mayu getting like murdered and hanged by Kagetsu, but I can't show 5 second clip of this Dragon Ball, and the rest of it is like edited by me. This was funny. I don't know if you guys agree, but I found this is like a promo they did, and I found it hilarious, and I just assumed that Natsupoi has no idea what the fuck Thecla's saying, and she just goes along with it.
はい来ましたテクポイタック今日も盛り上がっていきますイエイテクラ
Did you know Nagi has two?
Boy.
They were a fun little tag team for a minute, proving that Natsupoi should have always been DDM. And Unagi has two YouTube channels. We did say she was a YouTube star.
Oh, what is her YouTube channel? Is Unagi fan taken?
Thecla does not know what Thecla's saying.
Yeah,
Thecla's awesome.
That's fair. What's her YouTube channel? I feel like I've seen it. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh my god, wouldn't that be insane if she was like, for some reason, live streaming? I'm like, hey everyone, tell them I sent ya. Oh, this was interesting. Can't play the audio, but if you notice the name of this video, and that it was posted on January 26th, like 8 months before Utami Nakano was a real thing.
Sometimes you just will things into existence.
I honestly was funny. I was behind on so many shows. This video blew up, like at 54,000 views. Crazy. It blew up because everyone was calling her Utami Nakano, and I guess like my video comes up, and I'm like, why is this video blowing up? I'm like, oh, because I invented it. I could play. This would be.
はいあれ
All right, we'll close out on this. We'll close out on this because otherwise I'll go on forever. Although we're gaining viewers, which is crazy.
どうした
Well, you do have a nice
正面こっち
clip art for the icon. This is pretty funny.
大丈夫マイカ
I feel like
好きだから元に戻ってくれると思う
this is classic.
まあ今日初多治見ということでうちらの強
I think
さを
Mina
見
has
せ
a
つけたいと
YouTube too.
思いますじゃあ今日もどんな出るものに勝利を
The bear broker.
大丈夫ダメだね
Oh no. I want to believe. Okay, so the story with everyone was saying that Koguma broke Micah. I'm like, no. I think look at Himika's like face. You think she must have got the puppy dog eyes so many times to do this. And for obvious copyright strike reasons, I have to be muted for a minute. This is amazing. Why she should have done that more often. Shuri has the most incredible TikTok account that she stopped posting on like a couple years ago. This is probably one of my favorite videos just because Starlight. Nothing better than editing it together a video just to show Starlight getting her, what'd you call it, comeuppance.
Sometimes Starlight has to get what she deserves.
She's the only real heel, her and MJF. It's so funny going back. I'm like, I could transition so much better now. We've never seen Bear's Eye.
Yeah, Shuri screwed up. She brought the wrong bodyguards.
I always watch these with like super good headphones, so when starts getting her ass kicked, I loved editing this video so much just to listen to her scream.
Jay White's my favorite prick. For 2 years, he's been making fun of people for not being able to yell and talking to people in claps.
Well, Jay White's not.
So fucking funny.
I can't call him a real heel because he made me laugh so hard at the Forbidden Door press conference when he's like so pissed off. He's like, "Can I get a goddamn stand for my world title belt? That's all I'm asking for. I just beat Okada and I don't know who else he fought." Will Ospreay or Adam Cole, whatever. He's like, I beat these guys all in the same night, and all I'm asking for is a little professionalism. Sorry, Tony. And then he's like, ask your question, guy. He's like,
Did you notice what they had at this press conference? All the belt holders for all the belts. Thanks, Jay White.
Yeah. And then he started answering the next guy's question. He's like, well, what does it feel like to wrestle, whatever his question was, Okada? And he goes, yeah, actually, Okada, he's a really good competitor. And God damn it, where? He's so pissed off. Every question's about this belt holder. Yeah, those Starlight screams. No. Yes.
I thought when Shuri was breaking away, my Himipoi just didn't seem to like mesh with Julia's God's Eye. Like they just didn't seem like the same thing. I thought my Himipoi was gonna join Team Shuri, and that would have been so much better.
I didn't. Okay.
I do like Starlight getting tossed into the front row, though.
I never noticed this before. I like when people in comments point out stuff in clips too. I actually noticed this. Just watching Julia, like she's there because she wants her teammates to, throw Starlight on there, and then once she sees her go over the top rope, she's like, "Oh," backs away. That's so funny. It's all the little stuff that's great. Oh man, why did Natsupoi have to backstab the greatest faction in wrestling?
They should just made their own My Himipoi faction.
They should just. I like this. Shuri.
Always a shitty angel.
It should have been just the real trios belts. Shuri's just whoever she decides. Oh, beat Oedo Tai? No. If it's on a new stuff, I don't know how people see it without stealing it. Because like they upload the shows pretty fast on the website. People are like commenting on it like so early. Like stuff that happens on these shows.
Yeah, I got to finish 9-4 still. Just a week behind.
Actually, they do post the things. That's like how I know people are stealing it is, you can get the results by like social media and whatnot. Like I do sometimes and accidentally get spoilers, but they'll be telling stuff that happens like all throughout the match. I'm like, either you were at the show and you weren't at the show, or you were stealing it.
There's an actual pay-per-view somewhere. I don't think for the regular house shows though. I don't know how that happens.
Is this peak Utami? I think this is
Oh, that was a good match.
I think this is like peak Utami, right? Yeah, and
Didn't
Grandpa
Kogo beat all of Oedo Tai?
in one
So if
night.
Komomo can do it, anyone can. Yeah, in one match.
Who else you say they beat all of Oedo Tai in one night? Probably Sherry. That's probably a good call.
Mayu Iwatani.
This video is so adorable. Like, hey, Grandpa's there. Is Grandpa Big Daddy on the TV show?
Grandpa Daddy.
Yeah. Oh. Choke the life out of someone, choking the life out of someone. So cool. Yeah, we're a team. I should do more of these types of videos. I like the highlight videos. I do think it's the music that kills it, not the clips. But I still have to be careful for a couple weeks till a copyright strike goes away. I want to see that clip. Where do I find that clip? V4. That sounds awesome. Oh, what a drop kick. She needs to get that hair back. I love the hair flicks. Oh, and you're dead. And that's the moment all the Angel was finally beaten out of her. She's like, you know what? That hurt a lot. Oh, thanks, Anthony. Yeah, you don't know. I actually got a copyright strike for some. It was like the weirdest video. It was. I can't even play it. It wasn't even anything. It was like after a match, like a funny little thing. Actually, I'll explain it. Like the video no one got to see. It was like after a match. It was a triple threat: Mayu Iwatani, Starlight Kid, and Shuri. So if you don't know, Mayu Iwatani and Starlight Kid were a tag team, and they went to do like their tag team move where Mayu gets on the top rope, and then Starlight gets on Mayu's shoulders and does like a dive off of Mayu's shoulders. And Shuri got up like during the match. Shuri stopped it and suplexed them both up the top rope. And then after the match, it was a draw. All the video was this funny little thing where Mayu and Starlight are complaining to Shuri like, "Hey, why'd you stop my really cool tag move? That would have been super cool." And it said manually, so someone manually watched that video and said, You know how there's like full pay-per-views on YouTube that you can watch stolen, ripped for free, like the day after they come out? Yeah, we don't want to take that off the internet. I think I'm running out of stuff to watch.
You can say Konban at any time.
Tam nearly goes ass over teeth kettle? What's going on here? Oh, good. It just stays muted because it's probably all. I forgot about this.
I'll still find that one where they dump her over the thing.
I think I made this video for you because, yeah, one of these times you're like, yeah, she definitely
I'll
flew,
find it.
but like went over the top rope. I should post that Hikaru one.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh, yeah, twice. There's one. Remember Hikaru literally fell off the rope.
My Hikari?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Oh, forgot about that. There's a new logo because this made me laugh so hard. Oh, what happened? Oh, I just went to the bottom. This is the new Stardom fan logo is Starlight wearing a hat.
Can't go wrong with Starlight wearing a hat.
Putting a hat on a hat. I like that hat on a hat. She's got like her own clothing line now. She's a superstar.
Does it come with masks?
You know, it's the only thing I swear they don't sell. I don't know why. Do you not want to print money? If you want to print money, you sell the Starlight masks. I'd buy 4 right now. Hello?
Hello.
This video was fun. This was like one of my first big edits.
It was really good.
Oh, it's so bad. Oh.
I don't know. You're pretty good at getting that on the screen.
This one was really
It's
bad.
not-
That was all manual. That's before I figured out a computer could do it. On the dance floor. Nobody. I call them. What did I call them? I said that. Yeah. If Mina starts calling them the H bombs, I willed that into being too. I've been calling them H bombs for a while now. Is that offensive? And then I call Tams the A bombs. Is it jealousy? Himiko's almost like, wow, you've been wanting to do that for so long. It's just a good friend. That's what a good clap, clap, clap. Mariah's even clapping for it at the end. Oh, we were just talking about this, Momo Kogo.
ということでスターダムに上がる覚悟をしっかり見定めたいと思います。あと小杖だけは絶対にダメだからな。はいコウゴもお前のスターダムへの情熱はまあ伝わったんじゃないの。
Yeah. Are you sure that Unagi is not the leader of Cosmic Angels?
Tam will kill her. That's why she's been replaced by Natsupoi. Because Natsupoi's not nearly as flamboyant.
I hope she gets to play Mayu. That would be my new favorite movie.
It's super funny.
Oh. V4 doesn't know?
When we watched that live, I almost lost my shit. I'm like, I can't believe she just said that. That was so fucking funny.
Yeah. Oh, what does this say? Yeah,
It's not
So
a documentary, even. Isn't it like a actual movie of her book or her autobiography or some shit? I guess it is a documentary, but I'm sure it'll be punched up a little bit to be entertaining.
Mayu has a autobiography. Is that autobiography? Yeah, autobiography. Which is, I'll buy anyone's autobiography. I hate biographies. I'm like, I can do a Google search too, buddy. The way this translates, by the way, the name of her book is so funny. Like, I swear one time, it's like, until I became the icon of women's pro wrestling, I was a shut-in loser or something like that.
Oh.
Yes, but Mayu's got an autobiography, and they're doing a movie. They're turning it into a movie, which is awesome. And they have been doing casting for a while now for who's gonna play Mayu. And on like the new show, they got it down to 8 people. And for one of them is Momo Kogo, which is awesome. Like legit, she legit tried out, and she's like a legit candidate. Which makes sense because remember we looked it up one time? She was from like the Act Wrestle, or I can't even say it, Act Res. Like it's girls. It's a wrestling company that they were all idols and actresses,
Mm-hmm.
and it's where like all the best wrestlers come from apparently, like Waka. And unless one of these other girls can surprise me, I don't see how it's not down to Momo Kogo because she can probably do all the moves and probably knows all the mannerisms of Mayu. Versus literally Mayu. This chick is literally just Mayu. Like you see Mayu kneeling down here, and it's like that's the famous story where how do you say her name? Dolly Parton.
Probably.
You know who I'm talking about. She entered a lookalike contest and came in, I think, 4th.
Oh, for herself.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Because it makes sense, right? This is what you think of, like the makeup and the whatever for Mayu, and she's just like, no, I'm just gonna wear my shirt and my tennis shoes. But yeah, I hope so bad that Kogo gets to play Mayu. Remember they did it was kind of like a joke. Micah was facing Mayu, and Micah was like, "Hey Mayu, congratulations on the movie. I want to try out." And then Mayu was like, "Yeah, go ahead, do a moonsault." And Micah's like, "Oh, I can do a moonsault." And she's like, "Okay." And it was just during a match. Like there's like different camera angles. You can see Mayu actually lies in the center of the ring. She's like, "All right, I'll let you hit a moonsault on me."
That's awesome.
And then she chickens out and doesn't do it. So that just means Kogo can do a 450 Phoenix Splash probably. And the Mayu movie, because it's actually like real, might be my favorite movie when it comes out. One of my favorite movies, by the way, you guys. I don't know how to even check it out. You probably have to buy it on some shady website for like. I don't even know if it'll be on DVD. It just might be impossible to ever find. New Japan did that movie. My dad is a heel pro wrestler, and it is legitimately one of the best movies ever made.
It sounds good.
It's literally about a kid, and like Tanahashi has like a kid, and the kid finds out his dad, like, what do you do? He doesn't know what his dad does for a living, and he doesn't want to tell the 5-year-old that he's the bad guy in wrestling. And he finds out it's like he actually finds out because he sneaks into a wrestling match. He's not allowed to watch wrestling, and he sees the bad guy doing the pose, and then he's like hanging out with his dad, and he's like, hey, isn't this pose really cool? And he's like, oh no. And the whole movie's about a kindergartner not being able to handle his dad's the bad guy. Yeah, the kid in the movie lies. Like he's like, yeah, he accidentally lets it slip. Like my dad's because all the kids they're like wait a minute. So your dad's always gone. He makes all this money, and like they're putting 2 and 2 together. Like he's got to be Yakuza.
That's fucking funny.
And then he thinks his dad's Yakuza because he follows him to he hides in the backseat of his car when he's going to the one show, and he's hanging out in the alley, and he sees all the wrestlers, and they're just these big, muscly, like scary looking guys. He's like, my dad's a Yakuza. And then he finds out his dad's a heel pro wrestler, so he lies to all the kids at school and says that his dad is Okada, like the ultimate, like the baby face.
That's awesome.
Why doesn't Kogo have her own like biopic movie yet? I wonder if they were legit asking. Wouldn't that be funny? Sometimes I have it hard to believe that they're that good at acting. Oh, the Mayu, the Mayu cinematic universe. Yes, I love it. How many movies in before Miyu gets her own spin-off Netflix series? How come she's helping her to the back? Oh, also forgot not to play music, but whatever. It's probably just the Google images of Unagi probably get this thing taken down anyway. I keep saying last one, but this one is the last one.
始まり。妄想日記。大学が終わり、家に帰っている途中、急に雨が降り始め、どんどん強くなっていった。けれど、突然、自分の体は雨に濡れなくなっていった。人の気配を感じ、振り返ると、憧れていた大学の先輩がいて、私の頭の上に傘が刺されていた。私はびっくりして固まってしまった。そして突然の雷。私は先輩に抱きついてしまった。すぐ離れ、ずっと謝っていました。
Gotta love it.
その時
Zumi gets the
先
CBS
輩が
show.
私の手を引き、抱きしめた。
Review bomb him.
頭を撫でてくれました。
Oh, is this the one where she's telling the story? That was funny.
一瞬で熱くなり、
Yeah, I don't
心
know.
臓が張り裂けそうになりました。そのまま
It's like a love story.
先輩の傘に入り、会話はなく家まで送ってくれた。私は、先輩、本当にすみません。ありがとうございます。と言った。先輩は、また顔をあからめ、うなずいた。それが私たちの始まりだった。おしまい。
Yeah, when I looked it up, it was like one of. I tried to translate it. I really couldn't. But it was like one of the cheesiest stories of all time. Like one of those like awful love stories that she was reading off. It's like, oh, and then I seen him walking down the street, and he offered me an umbrella on this rainy day. It's like so. It's like the fucking cheesiest thing of all time. All right, I'm down here. Here's what if there was like a Mayu cinematic universe. The only way I would accept an Izumi movie is if it's like the Hulk, where she gets her own solo film and then they just recast someone better, like Starlight. That would be hilarious. Okay, if they really did do like a, I know it's just about Mayu, but if they did like a Stardom movie, I would want all the people to, I would want all the girls in it, but to play like other people. Like Starlight can be Micah or something, and they just never acknowledge why she's wearing a mask. That'd be great. Oh, or it could be like who is it? There's like a the mayor's secretary from Powerpuff Girls. Like Starlight doesn't have a mask in the movie, but they just find a way not to show her face the whole time.
She'd make a great manga.
The Stardom manga. Have anyone ever found out a way to read that?
Oh, that's a thing?
Yeah, try to find it. That is definitely it. They're like schoolgirls. Remember the trading cards we were looking at?
Hmm.
They look just like this.
Oh, nice.
The rebirth cards.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't click on random links from Reddit on a live stream, huh? Yeah, this is the oh my god.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it, like Queen's Quest or the jocks. I think Zubi's probably leader of the track team. I think Konami is trying to murder someone with a chair. Donna Del Mondo, or they like the cool girls? Wow. This is actually really good art. The chibi art, you can pretty much tell who everyone is with the stupid art. That's kind of impressive.
I like that.
Oh, look at Starlight. So you just start a project to get someone to translate this. Although I don't see why I couldn't translate it poorly.
That sounds like something that would have to go on a paid site.
I don't. Is that?
Oh, it's
legal?
definitely not legal.
Yeah, I was trying to watch an NFL game today, and it was like a thing where they're trying to get you to a subscription to watch them stealing the live streams. I'm like, oh, well, that's like double illegal. Like you're not supposed to stream it. It's pretty clear at the beginning when they say like they do like the FBI warning. I'm like, I think the NFL's pretty serious about that. And I know you're definitely not supposed to sell it yourself for a subscription fee. I like how Julia's got a tan. I'm just
It's
trying to
funny.
find Utami. That's Utami, right? I don't know. Anyways, we should stop live streaming. Should we try to find someone? Not that if anyone's still should do the thing where we find someone to bomb. Is that what do you call that? I don't know what that's called. Well, like when you're like, hey, check out this guy.
I don't know. We used to call it rating back when we were nerds doing that. I don't know
Huh.
what they call it these days.
Man, the clickbaits work, huh? Type in wrestling live. I know which video I'm clicking on. I don't know. Do you have anything you want to say? Stream rating.
I forgot how to look up who's live. Oh, features live. See, wrestling
Let's
live.
look up Stardom. Nothing. Let's look up. I don't know.
Last time it was fun because there was a talk show with like 4 people watching it, so that was fun. This guy streams every day and plays video games on the PS4. Fritz handsome.
Man, there's a lot of sumo tournaments going on right now.
What's some fucking sumo?
Real Fortnite fashion show, live hide and seek. I like that.
Sounds horrible.
I don't know. I clicked. It's supposed to be wrestling. Maybe they're doing like wrestling.
See my skin right now, dude.
Yeah, look at his skin right now, dude. 176 people watching. Apparently, it's not that horrible. All right, well, not that guy. We gotta pick a guy who has like. How about this guy? 2 people watching.
That's because you gotta watch fucking
This guy's got, well, counting me, he has 2 people watching, which means one of them is him to make sure it's working, and the other one is his friend.
All right, I'll click on the John cast. Spooky Helder.
How about Yeah. I don't know how. I should have my stream just going. Oh. Hey, what's up, Miyoshi? Forgot I posted that. All right.
Fuck is this guy living?
This guy had 2 people watching. I posted the link. He is Harrison Gore, Wrestling Night. I thought it'd be cool because he's only had 2 people watching. You might notice. Sometimes I do the stream raid and they have like 5 people watching and they don't even acknowledge the extra 15 people that showed up. And with that, we want to thank you, and we'll try to do. I don't know. I can't
Oh, did I
commit
click on
to.
the watch one? Who you? Oh, yeah, I gotta click on that.
Can't commit to doing them every week, although I do want to try. At the very least, we'll try to do a live stream every 2 weeks on usually a Saturday, but today it's a Sunday. And maybe next week we'll do, or whenever we do a live stream, the power rankings. Those are always fun. Yeah, check out Harrison Gore. The link's in the chat. See you guys. Thanks. Check it out.